Thank you for being on the show this evening.
Oh, no problem, man. Thanks
Uh,
for asking me.
well, we're gonna get into the gut check bracket situation in just a little bit. But let's go ahead and begin. How did your wrestling career got started?
Let's see. It started about 5 years ago. There was a promotion out here in Southern California called Alternative Wrestling Show, and they had a school. I ran into the promoter at a trading show, and I was always interested, so I just told him, I've always wanted to be a wrestler, and he looked me up and down and was like, you're a big guy, okay. And that was kind of how it got started. I just started going on a weekly basis and trained for a couple of years.
Who were your favorite wrestlers growing up? Or better yet, who are some wrestlers that you consider as influencers?
Oh, man. I would say my all-time favorite hero growing up was Bret Hart. That was my hero. If you actually seen my gear and everything, it's all pink and black, and that's more in tribute to him. I just everything that everything I aspired to be in wrestling was to at least be as close to Bret Hart as I could. But my physical attributes, being a bigger guy, just never worked out. So, I looked up not just to Bret, but I looked up to a lot of the big name wrestlers, like the big size wrestlers, like his tag partner Jim Neidhart. Another one I can honestly say that wowed me as a kid for being such a big guy was Yokozuna. So, I grew up idolizing a lot of the bigger guys because they were so agile for being big, and I thought, well, if they could do it, maybe someday I could. So.
That's definitely a good look, man, considering, normally when you think of big guys, you just think power slams and such, but people like Yokozuna and Bam Bam Bigelow, and Jimmy Anvil Neidhart, guys who more like versatile big men, people who could do more than just the power slams and such, and show that they're more than just one dimensional. So, and I've seen your matches on YouTube, and you definitely bring that versatility as well.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I try. I'm not as agile as I'd hope to be, but I'm working on it. Every day, I'm in the gym, and I try to work on being able to last a little longer each time in the ring, and perform a little better for the crowd. So it's all in hard work and good fun.
Hey man, you definitely need to have fun and just take it one day at a time, man. It's I admire that. Wrestling could be definitely a cold-blooded business, but I guess as long as you're humble, as long as you enjoy doing it, then that's all that matters.
Oh yeah, I enjoy it for the crowd, not for what a lot of people consider the politics. I enjoy it more to. Once I'm through the curtain and I'm in front of a crowd, that's the reason I do it. It's not for any other reason. Trust me.
Hey, I completely understand where you're coming from, man. So, do you remember your first ever wrestling match? And if so, who was your opponent? And what company did you work for at the time?
My first match, well, it wasn't necessarily a match. It was for the Alternative Wrestling Show. I was in a Battle Royal. It's pretty much where a lot of the, at the time rookies would get their start is in a Battle Royal. But my first one-on-one match was for the company I'm currently still wrestling for now, the Insane Wrestling League. It's a company out from Chino, California. They put me up against a guy named Amos the Strangler, I believe was his name. He goes by Bobby Hollywood now. That was my first official one-on-one match. That was like in 2000. I'd like to say 2008. I think that was my first official one-on-one match.
And going into that match, like, did you have butterflies? Did you get nervous leading up to that match?
It's cliche, I guess, to say that you get nervous, before you every time you go out there. I'm not nervous to perform or be in front of a crowd. That's never bothered me. I think the only nerves I ever get is just being aware of my body and being safe. I guess those are the only nerves that really get to me. So I guess my first match was mainly just, it's my safety, tucking my, head in when I fall to the ground, just you want to make sure you don't get a concussion. You don't want to make sure you don't want to break an arm, because you want to be able to go home at the end of the night. So, it's a, either home or the hotel. So you want to be able to get out of there safe. And that's really where my nerves, even to this day, still get to me is safety.
Yeah, and you know what? That's some things that Western fans may not quite understand that much. I mean, they so caught up in the heel and babyface character. Oh, let's let them go at it, let them fight.
Yeah.
but some Western fans don't quite understand that as much as these wrestlers supposed to go at each other, at the same time, don't kill each other. Just go out there and compete. Take your bumps and bruises. Don't kill each other.
Well, it's something fans got to remember is that this is in my opinion, there'll be guys out there. It's entertainment first. We're out there to entertain and put on a show. And hopefully at the end of the night, they're talking about you and not some other guy. So that's basically all of our goals out there.
Absolutely, man. So, how would you best describe your wrestling style?
My wrestling style, I would say it's hard hitting, and it's I guess like the movie Fast and Furious. I like to think that I'm going pretty furious. I shake the ring, I hit you hard. It's all high impact. So I guess you could say high impact wrestling would be me.
Speaking of impact, that's a nice segue. Obviously, you're a contestant for the TNA Gut Check bracket, and you people can vote for you in bracket number 11.
11, yeah.
Yeah, bracket number 11. Obviously, there's been some changes. People have to log in and vote this time around. You can go to challenge.tnagutcheck.com. How do you feel about the whole new voting system that Gut Check has as of right now?
At the time that it was going on, and I'll probably be I don't know how much crap I'll get for this, but I was actually the guy who red flagged the multi-voting problem. I would, out here anyway that I know of in Southern California, I was one of the few guys that were really promoting themselves and trying to get votes, genuine votes. And during the voting process, when you're looking at your bracket and you're seeing someone's number that was, say 50 votes the day before, and then the next morning when you wake up and they're at 1,700, you you kind of question things. So we tested a few times in the voting, and you were able to multi-vote. So I emailed the TNA Gut Check people, the only contact email that they give us, and I let them know, hey, you can multi-vote. There are people multi-voting right now. Is it okay to go? And when they came back on about 2 days later and said, go ahead and multi-vote. Everyone can vote as many times as they want, closing, and then they moved the date to closing. So my supporters were voting like crazy. And I was in first place in my bracket, and then they shut it down. So they shut it down due to too many people complaining about that rule. So, it's been an up and down roller coaster with it. And I think even now, from what I'm hearing today, they're having voting issues again. So it's been an up and down roller coaster. I'm hoping by the time my bracket's up, they'll figure this voting thing out. And, you guys can have a fair vote.
Yeah, the multi-voting thing, like me being the voter and all, I mean, I just thought you just vote once. That's it. And one thing led to another, and like you said, one person will have 50 votes, and then the next day it's like 1,000 bajillion type of votes. I mean,
and we'll be honest. I mean, a lot of us are local guys, so I'm not even sure I know 1,700 people. So, it's all about promoting online. I mean, that's where you're going to get the votes, and the best promoter wins is how I look at it. The guy who gets out there and shows fans of TNA wrestling, why to give this nobody a chance. And, if you go on Bracket 11 on that website, the gutcheck.tna, no, it's a challenge.tnagutcheck.com, I think is the website.
Yes.
If you go on to Bracket 11, I think, my one of our tech guys over at IWL made a music video of me. You can watch, and I'm actually the first video that pops up on Bracket 11. So you can, your listeners can check that out, and that's really, it was the best way that you can show yourself. Those videos is pretty much the only way we can promote ourselves through TNA. So, in all hopes, we hope to get on and get out there and promote. The multi-voting problem was a whole issue that I'm hoping they honestly figure it out. Like, I want a fair vote. If I win this thing, I want it to be fair. I don't want it to be because, Joe Schmo figured out a way to hack the system, So, hopefully they figure it out.
I'm gonna say one more thing about it, and then we'll move on. I mean, unless you're on national television, okay, and if you have that much votes, okay, you've been on national television. But someone on the indie scene getting that many votes, and people may not really heard of you, throw away a flag. I mean, like football, throw a flag on the play. That's skeptical, suspect. So I'm glad they changed the voting, and people have.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad it's going to hopefully be more legit. But I like I said again, I'm not trying to break news. I just know that as of today, I saw more issues with the voting. Today was the first day for Bracket 1, so we'll see how that goes. They're claiming that the votes are legit for certain people, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes, man. Otherwise, it's just been fun, the part of this whole thing, getting to go to gut seminars and getting to meet new wrestlers and be at different venues. Anybody who's involved with it, in my opinion, is a lucky guy. Just mainly because it just gives us another perspective and another vision, and another view of the industry, especially for a lot of us who haven't been on national television. It gives us a taste of what it's like to be promoted by such a machine like TNA Impact Wrestling. So, I'm glad it's on a fair table, I think, as of now, but again, like I said, I'm not sure. We'll see.
That's all we can do, man. Just wait and see. And you definitely have my vote on Bracket. Definitely have my vote. So,
Thank you, sir.
Last year it was a contestant versus a member of the TNA roster. As of this year, it's two contestants, new contestants for that matter, going at it like earlier tonight. You haven't seen it on the West Coast. You're on the West Coast, so I won't get any spoilers or anything. But there's two new contestants, and they battle it out. And the following week, one gets eliminated. The other faces the judges, see if they get the contract or not. You being a contestant and all, and seeing what's going on, how do you feel about the changes for the gut check that's on TV? As far as instead of a contestant versus a wrestler from the roster, it's just two new contestants facing each other. What's your thoughts about that?
My thoughts are anybody is worth my time. I mean, whether it's a star or it's another guy from the East Coast that I've never met or seen. You got to remember, it's an opportunity for both of those men, and I hope that the two guys that were on tonight made the most of it. I do know one of them is a 17-year veteran. The other one I don't know much about. I know he's from this area. I'm not a huge fan of the guy as far as his work, just mainly because of my not knowing much about him. But the other guy, those two are very deserving of their spot, and I hope they make the most of it. So if it comes down to me and another local, I'll make the most of it. And I hope the guy does the same. If it comes down to me and say, a star, I'm just lucky. So either way, it's a positive. national TV exposure, being a part of TNA Gut Check is just, it's an honor, because so many greats actually work with TNA Impact. I know fans, only see the surface of it, but there are very polite, very knowledgeable veterans over at TNA Impact that could help us grow and someday go somewhere else or make it such a big impact in TNA. I mean, it's all opportunities, man. A prime example, D'Lo Brown, great guy, gets a bad rap from fans or people who don't know him, but he's a great teacher and, a great spokesperson for TNA Gut Check. He does a lot of the seminars, and he's a great guy. So to answer your question, yeah, I think I would make the most of it with either or, star or normal.
I'm definitely a huge fan of D'Lo from his WWE days, and now he's become more of a mentor at this point of his career. And another thing, just to joke around, I just like the fact that his head kind of looks like a bobblehead when he moves around.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I mean, everyone knows the move. You just put your hands out to the side and bobble your head around,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we all do it.
Yeah. So if anyone does the bobblehead, then that's D'Lo. He's a real life bobblehead, but he's a talented performer. So do you have any upcoming shows, upcoming matches you would like to promote there, Justin?
Absolutely. On the Insane Wrestling League is having a show on April 26th. If you guys are on the East Coast, is that what you said, or?
Yeah, I live on the East Coast.
Okay, you're on the East Coast. You probably won't be able to be there live, so what you can do is watch us on the IWL.com on iPay-per-view. There's going to be the main event, John Morrison and champion Johnny Suave versus the Young Bucks or Teenage Generation Me. That's going to be the main event. The match I'll be in is I'm facing another TNA Gut Check contestant, Damon Devine. I'll be facing him in a unsanctioned street fight, so that should be interesting. And if anybody has a Roku, which is one of those streaming TV boxes, the IWL currently has a channel, and you can see all about it on theiwl.com. So I would, tell your listeners to get that Roku and see that channel, because you're going to see amazing West Coast wrestlers and a lot of mainstream big-time wrestlers like Jay Lethal, Amazing Red, John Morrison, Paul London have all been a part of IWL at some point. So it's a company that I'm very proud of and I work exclusively for. And through this TNA Gut Check thing, I still support the company that's my home. So the Insane Wrestling League is something definitely to check out, April 26th.
It's a jam-packed show and a lot of familiar names. Make sure you all check that out. Support local indie pro wrestling. That's something I always love to say.
Yes.
Backbone of professional wrestling. Social media wise, Facebook, Twitter, any other links, go ahead and promote your links, man.
You can find my page on Facebook, facebook.com/Team Ryke. I put videos, news, stories, anything that's about me, or you can just go to my website, justinryke.com, R-Y-K-E, justinryke.com. You can check that out. And I got merch, I got video, pictures, news, and many different things on that website. You guys can check that out. And on Twitter, my real name, Justin Arredondo. That's a hard name to spell, so just Google search Justin Ryke. You'll find it. You'll find my Twitter. I'm out there.
There you go. Just Justin Ryke. And last question, what would your advice be to anyone out there that wants to pursue their career as a wrestler? What would your advice be?
I guess it would be don't be afraid to try it. I think I'm a good representative of that. I didn't get into the business until my mid-20s. And it was mainly just because I was afraid to try. I was just a wrestling fan that sat on my couch and watched it and critiqued it. And, I always wanted to be a part of it. I just never thought of, a fat guy would do well, and then I just remembered, this is what I love doing. I took the opportunity and I tried. And 5 years later, here I am, being a part of TNA Gut Check, being part of the Insane Wrestling League, and getting some notoriety. And it's just a very funny thing. And if I could at least make it to this point, anybody can do it. So have faith in yourself. Go to a wrestling school. There are pretty much one in every state. If not, if you are really determined, I mean, there are some great schools across the country. I know, TNA Gut Check seminars are a great thing to at least check out. I would also look at OVW and Ohio Valley Wrestling. That is another, a great place to get your start if you've never, ever been a part of the business. I mean, that's one of the top places to go and get to know people. So just find a school, find a way in. It's hard at first. It's exhausting. You got to dedicate yourself physically. So just be prepared. Be ready. Don't be afraid. That's my advice. Just go for it. Don't be afraid to go out there and perform. Don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to be yourself. I think a lot of guys in this business are afraid to be themselves, even in the business, even once they're in. I think they're afraid to be themselves. Just be yourself. Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock are a good example of take your turn it way up, and that's what I try to do every time I'm out there. So, hopefully that advice helps.
Well said, man. Justin, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Thank you for joining me this evening. Everybody, make sure you vote for Justin on bracket number 11 on challenge.tnagutcheck.com. Voting begin as of today, April the 4th. But you got to wait a little while to vote for Justin, but just check out the website. And
May 14th through the 16th, I believe, are my days.
Yeah, May 14th through May 16th. So make sure you get an account first, and then get your vote on come May the 14th. Justin, thank you.
Go register and watch the videos, guys, and vote for every bracket. All those guys want your votes and want again. So, until it's my turn, I'll definitely turn the mic over to everyone else and just say, you know what, go and vote for each bracket. Bracket 1 is currently going right now. Bracket 2 will open up the next couple days, and just keep following along. And once you get to vote for me.
There you go, man. Thank you for your time. You have a good night.
Hey, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That was Justin Ryke.